And I have a few words to say about our first speaker, whom I'm about to invite in a minute here on the stage. I already mentioned him in our user group story. Michelangelo van Dam is a wonderful guy who organizes many events and meetups. He runs a conference called PHP Benelux. It happens every year around the end of January. I would strongly recommend visiting this event. It's awesome. And he's a very good community guy, spreading this whole PHP positive community feeling around him like an aura or something. So, and it would not be wrong to say that Michelangelo is the godfather of our community and our conference. So please welcome Michelangelo van Dam.
Thank you. Welcome. Wow. First of all, I'm really touched by the introduction by Michael. Yeah, thank you for putting extra stress on me. Yeah, it's great to be here. It's an enormous crowd. Wow. Let's get started. Let's talk some PHP community. PHP, what I feel is that we have an awesome community. We have core PHP application developers, core PHP developers for that matter. We have frameworks, we have tools, we have a whole bunch of things. And these tools and all these frameworks are there because we have enough resources to learn PHP. People have this joke, well, PHP is easy to learn. And yeah, how is this possible? Because we have awesome resources. The php.net website is probably one of the best documented technology platforms out there. But we also have blogs. We have many people that stumbled against the challenge and started blogging about this. And spread their knowledge about, hey, this is how you solve a particular problem. You also have these forums and discussion boards. Some are good, some are less good, but they provide additional information. And of course, the local meetups, the meetup that Michael was talking about, bringing people together, sharing the knowledge, sharing some wisdom, networking with other developers from that same area, that's something awesome. And then finally, you have conferences. Conferences like this one, where you guys are now, that bring a whole bunch of people together and give you an opportunity to interact with others. Say, hey, I'm learning here new things because the speakers are on stage, but I'm also learning from the conversations in the hallway tracks. I remember Cal. Is Cal in the room? There he is. Okay, Cal says, every conference has its value, but the most valuable part of a conference are the hallway tracks. And it's true. The moment that you are discussing something with other developers, all of a sudden, new ideas are formed. Projects get started. I mean, the tool that Michael was announcing, JoinIn, is one of those tools. It was invented at a conference during a hallway track. So let's focus on the local meetups and the conferences. I hear this a lot. I have this idea about getting started with a user group. It's challenging, yes, like everything else in life. I mean, I remember our first meetup. This was our audience. 4 people and me and Felix having a first meetup. If this is the case, most people go like, what the hell am I doing? Most people have this knowledge about, I'm failing here, right? But you need to be persistent. You need to say, okay, it was a first tryout, let's try something different. And we did a lot of things. And then, yeah, in 2008, PHP Benelux. We grouped together with a dormant PHP community in the Netherlands, and all of a sudden, we were PHP Benelux. And we had one mission, or at least a very simple mission. And that mission is, we offer a platform for local PHP developers to share knowledge and ideas and collaborate to make PHP and its tools better. That was our goal. That was our mission. And so in 2008, PHP Benelux was a single user group, and we traveled around. We spread over the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. That was great, but when we came to a place that was, everyone was exciting. We brought in the community, we had a whole bunch of people sharing knowledge, and it was awesome. And then we left again, and we created a vacuum. So between 2008 and 2015, this happened. So we now have 22 user groups in 3 countries. And they have monthly meetings in each of these locations. And, of course, we provide an annual conference in Antwerp. So, coming down to that fact that how did it happen is, well, we were enabling local communities to stand up, to get organized. And with local, we mean local developers, creating networks, friendships, and having a local entity, having repetition by having monthly meetings, means that it is something that people look forward to. People want to go to those meetups. If they miss one, that's okay, because next month, you want to get that? So you have these monthly meetups. It's repetition. You know, if I miss one, there will always be a next one, and you can follow the trends and the interest of your local community. So, from our point of view, we thought basically we need to support these communities. We support them by reaching out to sponsors. We provide them platforms. We provide them all kinds of gifts that they can raffle. And basically, we make sure that the local communities in the 3 countries that we cover now have the tools and the resources to become awesome. But what can you do? Well, you're here now. Extend this community here today. The things that you can do right now are take notes and present your favorite talks to your fellow colleagues at work. Take notes, write a blog post about the things you've learned at this conference. Or take notes, investigate a subject in more detail and present it at your local user group. Take a subject that interests you or a subject that you feel is hard for you. Investigate as much as possible and present it to the local community. Get some feedback, probably from people that are more into details with that particular subject, and learn from them. It's not because you're on stage that you're the expert, because it's an interaction. You learn from your audience, because there is always a smarter person in the room. But my main goal is take notes. Taking notes enables you to ask questions. And I want to tell a story. A few people already know this story, but there was this one time at PHP Tech 10 in Chicago. There's this guy, Travis Weisgood. He was on stage talking about Git, and he also wrote the book about Git. And everyone was, back in that time, very enthusiastic about Git. I was working with a lot of customers on Subversion, and I knew nothing about Git. I knew it was a hype, everyone wanted it, but I didn't have the time to investigate it. I didn't have time to learn about Git. So after his talk, I stepped up to Travis and said, Travis, it was an awesome talk, you inspired me, but I'm missing the bottom basics. It looks great, but I cannot correlate to it. And he sat down with me for 2 hours at a table. And he went through all the basics of Git. And he just did that after his talk. He missed out some of the sessions he wanted to see just to provide me that knowledge. And I still am very grateful for him doing that. So when you're here and you're in a session and you want to know more about it, step up to the speakers. We don't bite. We don't eat you alive. We're approachable. Ask us questions. And if it's really complicated, we sit down with you and we look at it in more detail, how we can help you out. And I guess I'm speaking for all the speakers here. They're very willing to help you out. Because on stage, we want to contribute back. And there are a lot of ways to contribute back. For us, being here on stage, sharing our knowledge is one of those things. But also you can contribute back. For instance, the easiest start is you work on something, you bump into a problem, test it, and report the bug. Be specific in the bug report. Just not say it doesn't work, but this is how I got to the point where it didn't work, and I think this might be a solution. That might be some feedback that you can provide. But that's the easiest way to get started on contributing back to the community. And also easy start is you read the documentation and you say, this is not correct, or there's a typo or something. Most of the projects are on GitHub, so all you have to do, fork it, make the change, send a pull request. Even though it's just one letter, it can make already a big difference. And if you're here in Bulgaria and you see, oh, this is a subject that a lot of people want to know about, but they don't understand English, do some translations. Help out. If you really like a challenge, you can start fixing issues. Same thing. Fork it, send a pull request, and make sure that everyone is notified about it. And you can really go crazy and write and run tests, especially for something coming up, PHP 7. Who in the room here already played with release candidates? Okay, for the people that didn't raise their hand, now is a good time. So, good advice. Don't download it right now, but yeah, you have to try it in order to understand it, appreciate it. I mean, there are a whole bunch of people that are already deeply involved in PHP 7. We have Sebastian here, we have Davey here, and a whole bunch of other people that are willing to explain more about PHP 7 to you and get you started with it. And yeah, try it out. You run your applications on it. And if you hit some brick wall, now is a good time to report it. That's why we have these release candidates. If you're here in the room saying, hey, I want to do this in my local area and start a user group so we can actually run these kind of things. Well, yeah, I want to start a PHP user group. How do I get started? Yeah, it's very difficult to understand. I'm here, nobody knows me. How do I get the word out? Piece of advice. Sign up with meetup.com. Meetup.com is, I think, the easiest platform to say, hey, I'm doing something in this area. It is indexed by Google, so the moment that people type in PHP area, most of the time a meetup page pops up first. So it is a commercial product, so you pay a little bit of money, but the value you get in return is awesome. It's magnificent. If you don't have a lot of budget to get started, Facebook, Twitter. Share it to social media. And of course, nobody knows you, so you don't have a lot of followers. How do you get that word out? Well, there are some tricks. We will get to that. How do you get that first speaker? Well, you will be the first speaker. I mean, Michael was here on stage, welcoming everyone. And who was your first speaker, Michael?
I think it was me.
There you go. It was him. So be your first speaker, pick a date and a place can be anything. It can be a meeting room at a company that you work at, it can be a back room at a local bar, it can be campus of a school, it doesn't matter. People don't care where they are as long as they have power and a projector so they can share something on the screen. And nowadays, I see more and more televisions being used rather than projectors. So everything that can display something to a bigger crowd, that works. And then you need to announce it. Announcing Twitter, Facebook, Meetup, any kind of social media that you figure out. And then when I talk to people, they go like, yeah, that's too much time. I don't have the time for that. Organizing a meetup takes maybe 30 minutes at most. I mean, you have to think about how do I announce this meetup on Meetup or Facebook or Twitter. So that is 25 minutes and then 5 minutes writing it out and push the send button. So 30 minutes in total. I don't know anyone. Yeah, neither did I. And look, I'm standing here in front of you. So that's not really a good excuse. Where can we meet? Like I said, the campuses, the bars, the schools, the companies that you work at. They have meeting rooms. Even if it's only like 25 people, well, there's a rate limit. Only 25 people allowed. I don't have money. You don't need to have money to start a user group. I mean, I've seen people just sit in a space and just present something. And people are very willing to buy their own beer at the bar. It's not like you need to pay for that. And if you're working at a company or you know someone that works at a company, ask them, are you willing to sponsor the beer? Are you willing to sponsor pizza? When you need that advice on Where do I go for? Yeah, well, you can just ask, and people will say no. That's the worst case. But what if they say yes? If you want to announce your event, well, you can apply an account on the PHP user group mailing list and ask other user group organizers how they organize their things. There's also a Slack group. Once you're on the user group mailing list, you'll probably get the link to the user group Slack account as well. And IRC, probably the oldest communication technology that we have, is also available, PHP user groups. So let Cal, me know that you exist, and we will spread out the word. Worst thing that can happen is that you have a room full of people and you call yourself a conference. Right, Miguel? So, for the announcements, again, meetup, php.net, Twitter, Facebook, and getting corporate support, PHP Architect magazine. They send out newsletters. They have a monthly subscription. Is Kevin in the room? Not yet. He will be here. He's the designer for PHP Architect magazine. If you have this interest or you're already organizing a meetup group, let them know. And they will announce this in their magazine. Zend, the company behind PHP, they send out newsletters to all their people and all their customers. And they can focus on particular regions. So let them know that you have a user group. First of all, they will have a website listing all the user groups. And second of all, they send out the newsletter saying, hey, new user group in this area. And it will get the word out. Microsoft, another company. Sounds a little bit strange, but Microsoft is investing a lot of resources and money in PHP. And also they have these newsletters, corporate emails, and all that stuff. And they're very willing to let the world know that you exist. So, great resources. Other tools, MongoDB, and so on, and so on, and so on. All these companies, just reach out to them. Let them know you exist. And most of all, ask your local companies to sponsor you. Yes, just ask them. One of the questions I got is, yeah, but what kind of local companies do I need to look for? Well, there's one particular industry that is very keen in helping you out. Recruitment agencies. Because you offer a fishing pond of PHP developers. If there's something very well interested for them is a pool of PHP developers because they have many PHP jobs. So yes, talk to the recruitment agencies. I have to admit, set up rules first. They cannot come in and start harassing people saying, hey, we're a recruitment agency, you want to work for us. No. They can sponsor, they can put like a 5-minute introduction, or at the end of the user group meeting, they can have like a 5-minute session saying, hey, we're a recruitment agency ABC. If you're looking for a new job, come talk to us. Otherwise, enjoy the beer, enjoy the pizza. Web agencies. Web agencies are very keen in getting their word out. There's a lot of competition. And yeah, being connected to a PHP user group gives them that little advantage. So yes, they're very interested in becoming one of the sponsors. talk to local divisions of international corporations, IBM, Microsoft, Zenz, and yeah, most likely they're willing to help you out. Will I succeed? Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. They did. And the list is long. This is just the beginning. And Michel is another example of people that I stumbled against at a conference. We started talking, and I said, well, you're the guy. Or you're the girl. Take that first step. Do this because it's a passion. Don't do this because you want to be a celebrity. There's no such thing as a celebrity. I mean, Michel was putting me on screen and I was a little bit ashamed about that, but no. I'm passionate about organizing these things. I live for the community, it's my drive, and I enjoy hanging around with a whole bunch of people, especially if I can learn a lot from them. People that know me know that I give and ask nothing in return, because I'm that kind of guy. And I'm persistent at doing that. I have this tendency is to even go on, even if it's a hard thing. I do this with coding. I also do this with the community. It's not going to be easy. Most of the time it's easy, but there will be times that you will struggle. Yeah, well, face those challenges, just like you do with your work. Life is not easy, but be persistent, be consequent, and you will succeed. And with consistency comes also set a regular interval. Every second Tuesday of the month, we have a user group meeting. People will know every second Tuesday of the month. So if they miss one, they know, oh, I can go the next time. Or you have visitors from out of the area, and they will know, oh, this user group has a meeting coming up. I just walk in there. I mean, I ended up at a PHP user group meeting at Ireland, at DC, at many other places. I cannot remember, because for me, being at a user group is being home, being with friends and family. And yeah, it really touches me deeply inside. Before I forget this, I mean, I could use the quote one more thing, but that was already taken. JoinIn. Michel was already saying a little bit about JoinIn, but JoinIn is the platform created by PHP developers, by speakers, as a way to receive some feedback about how are we performing. People that know me know that I'm also about continuous integration, about having a fast response. JoinIn is our CI system for speakers. It is bringing us the feedback that we need to know, oh, we did something wrong, and we can improve on these things. It is something that speakers need. If we did a good job, it's okay, but we need to know also what we did wrong. And that is the hard part. It's easy to say, oh, it was a bad talk, or I couldn't read the slides. Be more specific. We need to know, how can we improve in the future. So, what was good? Okay, what was bad? Tell us why it was not good, or how can we improve it? There's always room for improvement. This journey is 1% finished. And with that, have a great conference.